Welcome everybody. In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about using the Divide Pathfinder. In previous lessons, we've gone through what unite, minus front, intersect, and exclude do. Divide is something very useful, and you might use this one most often. And you can actually get to all of these results by using divide and then putting objects back together eventually. So divide is very important. If I take an object, any object, and I draw it on my screen, I'm going to now draw a line. Maybe I'll just use the pen tool here, and I'm just going to draw a zigzag line through my object. Now there's a fill on this line, which might get in my way, and you could tell there's a fill on this line because I see there's like a little space here, a gap, and what's happening is it's taking this anchor point and it's drawing it's filling to this one, which is kind of weird. So I want to make sure that if I'm using lines to divide something up, that I put no fill on it. So I just changed my fill to none by clicking in the toolbar on none, or the same thing, you can go up to the top here and just make your fill none. Okay, so now divide's going to work exactly the way you would expect it to. So I'm going to select both the objects, the line and the hexagon, and I'm going to click divide. Okay. Now I click away from it and you can see what happened here. It draws lines through the object, but you're also left with this kind of residue out here. Now what's something you always have to remind yourself with divide is when you divide something, it leaves it as a group. So if I wanted to take one of these pieces out of here right now, I can't do it until I ungroup the object. So you can either hit Shift Command G on the keyboard or Shift Control G if you're on a PC, or you can go and right click on it and I can select Ungroup. After you right click on it, go to ungroup, and now it's not grouped anymore. Now I can get rid of just this little residue piece out here, and if I want to get rid of a section of this, I can. And I think there's a little residue piece out here too. So this way, if you had an object and you want to chop it up and assign different colors to it or something like that, you could totally do that. I go through here and then get out my swatches here, and you can just assign different colors to different parts of your object. So if you ever want to do a design like that where it's something cut up and you want to put different colors, that's how you would go about doing something like that. Okay, so divide. Divide works too with shapes. So let's get rid of this. This was a line and shape example, and if we just use shapes, so if I take a circle and I'll draw another circle and another circle and another circle, what you could do is we could select all the objects and I could hit divide, and what happens is now it is sliced this up wherever things were overlapping. So when I ungroup this object, so remember after you divide you have to ungroup, I can pick apart this object and it has all different parts. Okay, so you can see, you can really start to make some maybe interesting characters and stuff this way. It's a nice way to start your designs using divide, and very often in logos you'll be using divide as well. So that's how the divide tool works.